Alright, today on the Ropes, I got the WBC lightweight champion, 24-0, 15 KOs. Many are calling the future of boxing. I'm here at his home. Devin Haney, what's good?
It's good with it, it's good.
Now, I want to go back a little bit. You know, your amateur career, you had 7 national titles. At the age of 17, became the youngest boxer to win the Youth World Championships in Reno. You had an amateur record of 138-8.
130 and 8.
130 and 8. Turned pro in 2015 at the age of 17. Was there ever a point that you considered quitting boxing as a kid?
No, never. Well, when I first started boxing, I was playing football at the same time. So you know that when you're young and you growing up, you know, you football, basketball, stuff like that. It's a team sport. You're around your friends. You know, it's more fun. It's more, you know, boxing is a lonely sport, especially as a kid. So when I first started, I liked boxing, but football was really my thing. So at times I was like, no, I like football, but I was always better at boxing than football. I was good at football, but I was always better at boxing. So then one season, or my last season, my team, we lost like damn near every game, and I'm a sore loser. I hate to lose. I'm very competitive, and after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna quit football and I'm gonna just focus on boxing.
You know, at one point, you might have thought about the Olympic route, but you decided not to go that route. With that being said, with the many conversations that you have with Floyd, did he ever talk about his Olympic experience with you?
Nah, we never really talked about the Olympics like that. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not really a big fan of the Olympics. He isn't either. So it's really not much to be said. Cause at the end of the day, I feel like it's really a waste of time. You know, all the young guys coming up, they could really, especially when they're fighting with no headgear against the top fighters in the world for, you know, no money, no nothing. Just, you know, just to say that, oh, I went to the Olympics, or maybe I got an Olympic medal, you know, and to go pro, and it really doesn't mean anything.
You know, that's a great point there, because it was actually a documentary that came out a few years ago talking about that. Whereas the grind to go through where you fighting 5 or 6 fights in within a couple of days, and sometimes you can get cut and injured, is it really worth it? And you're going to find that right now some of the best athletes in boxing really starting to turn pro. Will you see that more in the future?
A lot of guys then got burnt out trying to go the Olympic route, you know, just by, you know, fighting all these overseas fights, fighting all these, you know, top competitors, and end up going pro and flopping because they just had so much, you know, hard fights, so much, you know, times that couldn't wait every day for days straight, and traveling and, you know, doing all that by the time they turn pro, they're done. And I feel like that was my best decision for me, was to go pro at the age that I did, at the time that I did, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here at this time, you know, now if I didn't. So I gotta commend, you know, my pops on, you know, installing that and pushing me to make the decision to go pro, because of course, you know, when you're young, it's an Olympic dream. You want to go to Olympics, you want to do that, but I'm very happy that I didn't try to go that route.
Now I gotta ask you, man, your first professional fight at a young age of 17.
I think I would still be amateur right now. Let me see. Yeah, I would still be amateur right now if I didn't go pro.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, thinking back to your first professional fight down in Mexico, man, describe to my audience what was that like to go to a foreign country where you pretty much hated, probably the crowd heavily against you during that time. What was going through your mind as a young 17-year-old?
I heard so much bad things about Mexico, like that it was corrupt, I was gonna get a bad decision, just everything you could think of about Mexico they told me. Which, you know, some people might have just been, you know, trying to look out for me, and some people may have just been maybe hating or whatever. I don't know what the case may be, but I heard so much bad things about it. So by the time that it was finally time to go, like, I had already installed in my head that, you know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be at the end of the day. I trusted my skills. I feel like, you know, at that time I was like, man, I could beat anybody. They put anybody in there. They could switch the opponent, whatever they can do. I'm gonna be ready. So I trained super hard. I trained like I was fighting for a world title. You know, even though it was only my first fight, I was prepared for anything. But once I got down there and I seen that it wasn't what I thought, I was happy.
Just thinking back on your time down there in Mexico, how did that prepare you for the fighter that you are today?
It actually helped me a lot because at the end of the day, I would go there and it would be me and my team, maybe 4 or 5 guys, maybe 6, 7 at the most. And I would go there and I would fight at a bar, but it would be a bunch of the bar would be packed, like with people packed, like you couldn't move, you couldn't walk, and everybody would be against me. It would be, it was a full of Mexicans, full of Hispanics, and they would go for their fighter, which it's just how it is. So if the guy would get anywhere close to hitting me, the crowd would go crazy. I remember one time I just slipped in the ring, and the crowd went ballistic. You would have thought that I got knocked out or something, the way that they acted. So that was definitely the hardest part about being there. But when I came back to the States, it was like a breeze because all my family was there. All the crowd was for me. So if I get anywhere close to hitting my opponent, then the crowd would go crazy. So it was much easier coming back home to fight. And that's why I feel like some of these guys, they got it made because I maybe had like 12 fights in Mexico, and I didn't get a chance to fight on these big shows. I didn't get a chance to, I see Eddie Hearn, the guys that signed up under him, they fight overseas, London, here, there. Where did Joshua fight? Where was Joshua and Ruiz fight?
That was Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. They fight in all these nice ass places, and I used to go fight in bars, and I had to stay down for the come up. So I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy that I did it. I wouldn't want to be fighting. Well, I wouldn't rather have been fighting, in these nice places, and it didn't work out well. I'm happy with the way that it did, but yeah.
With that being said, talk about your drive and will to be the very best in the sport of boxing.
I mean, at the end of the day, once I said that this was what I wanted to do, I wasn't, up for taking second or, up to just halfway do it. Me and my dad, when we decided that this is what we was going to do, we was going to put our all into it, and that's what I do. I'm dedicated all around the board. I'm not going to stop until my name be mentioned with the greats. I'm not a halfway boxer. I don't halfway do it. I'm not part-time boxer. I don't just do it for fun or do it because I'm good at it. I really do it because I love it and I'm passionate about it and I want to be great.
With that being said, who do you feel right now is the best pound for pound fighter in boxing today?
Best pound for pound boxer. Me personally, I like Canelo. I think Canelo is pound for pound. Me personally, everyone was making Triple G to be pound for pound, and then Canelo beat him, and then it's like everybody is saying what they're saying, but I think Canelo pound for pound to me.
Now, gotta ask you about this. With your dad advising you to invest in yourself, the importance of ownership. You have Devin Haney Promotions. Why did you start Devin Haney Promotions, and what is the goal for your company?
I mean, when in the beginning, I was, I had a good amateur career, so and I had a name. A lot of these guys, they think that just because they come out of amateurs and they won, they may have won a world championships or won something like that. At the end of the day, it's about marketing yourself and people knowing you. So when I came out of the amateurs, I made a name for myself. So I had some good offers on the table. Literally from everybody. Literally all the top promoters offered me something, and I wasn't satisfied with it. Me and my dad, we weren't satisfied with it. It was big money at the time for a guy that was 0-0 or 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, but I wasn't satisfied with it. So that's when my dad it started me to invest in yourself and basically stay down for the come up. And I realized if they offer me this much money when I'm 7-0, what about when I'm 16-0? What about when I'm 13-0? The money has to go up. There's no way that it could go down. It has to go up. So that's when we came up with the thing to start my own promotion, Devin Haney Promotions. And at first, we were just saying it. We was just saying that it's Devin Haney Promotions, DHP this, DHP that. Just like a whole bunch of other fighters say that they got their own promotion. But I'm really the only licensed promoter. Like, I actually have a license. I actually can throw my own show. Well, I have thrown my own shows, and I'm not just using somebody else's license to and then they put my name on top of it. No, I'm actually a licensed promoter. So that's the thing.
I was going to ask you about that because, but you already said it, that you're, as far as you know, only one with the license?
Yeah, the boxing,
yeah, license.
Boxer. A lot of these other boxers say, well, of course, I'm talking about current boxers.
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah. A lot of these guys, they say that they're promoters, or they say that they got their promotion, but they really don't. They just using somebody like a third party type thing, where they use a guy has a promotion, and then they use his promotion. He does everything, and then they just say his name. They put his banner up, and they feel like, oh, that I'm a promoter now. No.
Do you currently have fighters signed under you right now?
No, I actually, I'm working with a few fighters to get some fighters signed right now. But one thing about me, I'm not interested into signing a bunch of fighters. Of course, I can sign a bunch of fighters, and then I can have some good fighters, some bad fighters, and I'm really competitive. I want to win in everything. So the fighters under me gonna be great. They gotta be they gotta be good. So I want to sign quality over quantity. So I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush to just go sign anybody. But I'm working with a few fighters right now, and y'all will see soon.